Hey guys, and welcome back. In today's video, Bitcoin is taking a massive crash after breaking all the way up to a new all-time high of $124,600 last night. In today's video, we're going to be looking at the Bitcoin chart, the Cardano chart. We're going to be looking at a comment from Scott Bessent at the United States Treasury Secretary, and we're also going to be looking at PPI, the Producer Price Index, which caused a major crash on Bitcoin this morning. Is this the end of the bull market? Is alt season delayed? Is the bull market over? There's a lot of FUD running around Twitter because we are seeing prices that we haven't seen in a grand total of 2 days. Should you be scared right now? Or for our professional traders, is this actually the perfect place to be entering into some long trades? That's what I think, and I'm going to break down for you exactly why I think right now is a great time to be stacking some Bitcoin. So without much further ado, let's go ahead and dive right on into it. I want to get started by saying that earlier this morning, we took an investment in Bitcoin because I believe that these are phenomenal prices that are going to look absolutely beautiful here in 3 to 4 months. I don't think that the bull market is even close to over. I think that there's a lot more room to run on Bitcoin, and I'm going to break down why right now. But first, we've got to analyze the problem. Yesterday, Bitcoin rallied all the way up to $124,600, and when we did that, down here on the minute chart, we were in a trade over in the Discord server. If you haven't already joined the Discord server, sign up for 2Bit with a link in the description box down below. Deposit $100 and you can get in for free. On the 1 minute chart last night in the Discord server, I noticed that we were building a head and shoulders pattern right there. So I exited our Bitcoin long right there at about $123,900 in a decent bit of profit. I entered later than I wanted to, right around here, but we managed to run all the way up here, get a good 40x long in right there last night as we were eating dinner as a family. That all-time high break almost hit 125,000, but there was a lot of sell side pressure, and the main reason for that was because Bitcoin had been on a rampage for a couple of weeks. I've been wanting to take some entries on altcoins, but to be honest with you guys, Bitcoin has been rallying just vertical for the last 11 days. We've added $12,000 in price action, and some of your favorite altcoins have nearly doubled. For example, Cardano had built this beautiful inverse head and shoulders pattern down on the 1 hour chart that we'd been talking about in the Discord server. We had a bunch of people make over 100% on this trade. We talked about in the Discord server, first cohort, how this inverse head and shoulders pattern was going to send us very high. We called an entry here at 82 cents on the breakout. We have so many people posting over there how they made over 100%. I mean, for example, let me just go ahead and show you. This person was up 73%. This person up 110%. This person was up 213%. This person was up 300%. So we did really good on that trade. But what ended up happening here is that the market got too hot. And we even here on Bitfinex, down on the 1 hour chart, managed to put a gap in, which is wild because Bitfinex is a 24/7 exchange. So Cardano, Bitcoin, Ethereum, all of them were running extremely hot. And so when we broke all-time high, it really felt very slow. We initially traded the breakout here when we first broke above all-time high last night. It was right here, and Bitcoin only rallied up to 123,700, and then we fell over. That was kind of the early warning sign that Bitcoin was not in as great of a shape as we would like. We then went on to go into a rally and form that double top up here, or that head and shoulders pattern up here, 124, and that showed us some weakness in the market, which is why we were able to exit at almost the exact top of the market last night from our trade. And the reason for that is something I've been telling you for several days, and that is the CME futures gap. I believe that this correction has been caused by 3 different factors, all of which came into play in about a 24-hour period. So today, we're going to break down why Bitcoin corrected, and we're going to break down why now is actually a great time to take some investments and to potentially even look at building long positions for the next leg up. I don't think that this bull market is over, and I don't think that this run is done. I think Bitcoin's going to rally to $135,000 within the next 30 days. All right, first reason is we did not actually fill the CME futures gap. We corrected and filled some of it here back on August the 12th, which was 2 days ago, but we didn't fill it entirely. So when we broke through all-time high, many people, including myself, were saying, man, I would love to place my exits at $129,000, but I can't justify that because we've got a CME futures gap down at 117. The reason that that is so remarkably important is because if you build a CME futures gap down here below $123,260, a previous all-time high, then that means we don't get the luxury of doing what we did earlier this month, where we back-tested 112 and bounced off of it. No, that means that if we go on a rally up to, say, 135, then we have to break back below 123,260 to fill the CME futures gap, which endangers the entire bull market. So a lot of people, myself included, are sitting here thinking as we're breaking all-time high, crap, we really need to fill the CME futures gap now so that we're prepared for a rally to 135 to 150 so we don't have to back test down to 117. We don't want to see 117 again. We want to go to 140, 135, 140, 150, back test down to 123, 260, bounce off of there, get an excellent long, and then over here in September or October, get a great entry and rally into the end of the parabolic cycle. We don't want to have to fill this gap later on in the cycle. So many people, including myself, are sitting here on our hands thinking, I think the CME futures gap is probably going to fill. And that's pretty much what we're seeing happen right now. We saw Bitcoin originally have trouble breaking above all-time high because of the CME futures gap. And then here at 8:16 this morning, we had two pieces of news come out at almost the exact same time. At 8:16, it was reported that Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, said that the United States is not going to be buying Bitcoin. Yeah. He said they're going to be confiscating it. Kind of scary lingo from the guy in charge of the United States Treasury. He said we're not going to be revaluing the gold, and he also said that we're not going to be buying Bitcoin, we're going to be confiscating it. He's kind of saying the quiet part out loud. We were given promises of a strategic Bitcoin reserve. We've been given promises that the presidency is going to support Senator Loomis's bill to acquire 1 million Bitcoin. So the question becomes, what the hell? Why are we not acquiring Bitcoin? Why are we not buying Bitcoin? Did Scott Bessent just mean that we're not going to be buying Bitcoin in a budget negative way, and we're going to be going with the original lingo of a budget neutral manner, such as confiscating it? What does this mean? We don't know. But that piece of news was at 8:16, and that's pretty obvious on the charts right here. At 8:16 a.m. this morning on, I believe it was CNBC, wherever he was, right here, Scott Bessent said that. When he said that, Bitcoin dropped about 0.5%. Didn't drop much because most people didn't realize until later. But then 14 minutes later, we saw PPI, the Producer Price Index, be released by the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and it was not good. The estimate was 2.7%. The actual was 3.5%. That caused a major drop on Bitcoin because it indicates that the United States economy is running far more inflationary than has been projected. I'm sure somebody at the BLS just got fired. JK, it's government, so they're probably sitting there on vacation for the third week in a row. But anyway, Bitcoin dropped on that news, so you had the double whammy. This, in my opinion, I'm going to be totally real with you, reeks of manipulation. Absolutely reeks of manipulation. Of anybody, Scott Bessent should have known what that PPI data was before it was announced. He probably knew that was coming. He just so happened to be on live television 15 minutes before it went live, a day after Bitcoin hits all-time high. I want to put the tinfoil hat on for a second, and I'm kind of wondering whether or not the United States federal government is trying to manipulate the price so that they can buy in lower. Tinfoil hat conspiracy time. Do you think that the U.S. government, through Scott Bessent and through the PPI, has manipulated the price of Bitcoin to drop it lower so they can buy more behind the scenes? I don't know. I have absolutely no proof of that. That said, it is very, very, very interesting timing. And it's a bit of a it's a bit of a triple whammy. Like I said, we have the failed breakout of all-time high. We did add $1,000 to ATH, whatever. But then we dropped considerably. After that, we have Scott Bessent say what he said, and then right around the time everybody realized, wait a minute, what did he say? We see the PPI drop and Bitcoin goes through a correction. All of this seems like manipulation to get the price to go lower, and all of it also seems like a great opportunity to fill the CME futures gap. So what do we do here? Here's how we play this. I've given you the information. Here's what we do. First and foremost, whether or not this was manipulation does not really matter. What does matter is that the price has dropped a great deal, erased most of the gains from the last several days, and has given us a fresh entry for longs. Now, there are two real ways that you can long Bitcoin. Number one, you can long the breakout. You can wait for a major and super obvious level of resistance, such as, let's say we set resistance at 125,000, we stayed below it for 2 months, and then we tested it and broke it. You could enter a trade at 125,000, $10, and then trade the God candle that would come out of that. The other way is waiting for a major drop and then longing the bottom. So long as you get close enough to the bottom, you're not catching a falling knife. Instead, you're actually getting a great entry price to ride the way up. Kind of similar to that, you can wait for the market to reverse a little bit and give you a bit of a confirmation through something like a Lux Algo buy signal, through a market cipher, green dot, through a cross on the MACD, through a cross on RSI, whatever it may be, through a cross, a break above the bearish action line, for example, which is something that Bitcoin's kind of seeing right now. I'll show you that in just a second. These are the places that you want to enter longs and build positions, is when you see a major breakout coming or you see that the market is bottomed. And so for me right now, when I see the failed breakout happen, most likely because of that CME futures gap, when you see Scott Bessent dropping this news that everybody's going to forget about in 2 days, when you see PPI drop and everybody's going to forget about it in 2 days, this makes me want to enter a trade, a long trade, with a limit order down there right at the bottom where where we saw the CME futures gap. But here's a bit of the concern that I'm running into right now, and that is that actually over on Binance, BTC USD, over on Binance, The CME futures gap has, actually, I'll take it back. It wasn't Binance. It was another exchange. One of the exchanges has kind of filled the CME futures gap, but for the most part, it's not filled yet. So we can't really consider the CME futures gap to be filled because the CME futures gap is down here at $117,440. When/if Bitcoin drops back down and falls down to 117,440, this is where you could potentially enter into a trade. It would look something like this. You would have a trade set up right down here, right above the bottom of the CME futures gap. You would have a very tight stop loss. And then you would basically, you wouldn't even really worry about setting a take profit just yet because you'd be trying to catch the next leg up, but you'd probably put it up here towards around like 119. Ideally, you'd hold it back to all-time high. But if you are able to get into a trade like that, this would be an excellent opportunity to long the bottom. On the other hand, if that's a little too risky for you because there is a pretty high likelihood of you getting, stopped out at like a 5% loss, paying fees and all of that, you can wait for something called the action line to break, which in this case is right here. If you look on the 1 minute to 5 minute chart for Bitcoin, there is this downtrend that is formed. If Bitcoin does drop back down here to fill the CME futures gap, and then we break up back above that action line here at approximately 119.5, this would also be a great time to start longing back up towards the all-time high. So those are two different entries that you can be looking at, neither of which are active right now, but when they do become active, we'll be talking about them in the first cohort trading group. So make sure you sign up for 2Bit with the link in the description box down below, deposit $100 and get in for free for a year. Now, I also want to talk a little bit about Cardano because, as I said, we've been dealing with this wonderful Cardano trade over the last few days here in the first cohort trading group, and that was this inverse head and shoulders pattern. We had a signal to enter into a long right around 82 cents, and as I showed you, a bunch of people over here took that long. Here's an entry price from Gcoat 23 at 82 cents. Here's an entry price from this person here at 85 cents. Here's an entry right here at 91 cents. They had some pretty good returns. And so I want to give you an update on what to do with Cardano from this point. Right now, Cardano is in the middle of trying to break this ultra long-term downtrending level of resistance. This is such a massive breakout that we're about to discuss that honestly, one of the best ways to trade it is just on spot because you're going to probably triple your money just buying Cardano spot. That said, if you want to go into like a 5 to a 10x leverage trade, you're going to want to be very careful about when you enter it, and I would wait for Bitcoin to find a confident bottom. But right now, this downtrend right here, this one, yeah, that's that 5-year long downtrend. That's that downtrend. And we have this shooting star here above that downtrending level of resistance. If Cardano can sustain above this downtrend, ideally even breaking above $1, that's where we can say that this downtrend has been broken. Even if you draw it as aggressively as possible by connecting this top up here at $3.13 and this top right here at $1.32, then you will see that we have confidently broken it on the wick. We just haven't done it on the candle body. If we get a daily close up here, that's where I'm going to be looking at going into a 5 to 10x leverage long and just dumping capital into it in between about 95 cents to $1. So stay tuned because I think that a huge setup is being built right now for Cardano. You can see the reversal down here on the MACD. You can see the reversal on the RSI. The monthly chart looks beautiful. Everything's looking great out there. 3 daily chart looks beautiful as well. Lots of strength. And so in general, I think Cardano is presenting itself with an excellent opportunity, and so too is Bitcoin. So those are kind of two entries that I'm looking for right now. Neither one of them have triggered yet, but if we do see a major drop here on Bitcoin, an entry down here around 117,440 with that tight stop loss, like I said, risking no more than 5 to 10% on that entry and holding it back up to all-time high is a good option in my opinion. And then also, if we see Bitcoin drop even further, because it could drop back down to this uptrend. Let's just make this one blue for a second so you can see that. It is possible that Bitcoin drops back down to this uptrend because this represents the uptrend that has underpinned this entire market right here. If we drop back down to that uptrend, then that would be an entry right down here around 116,320, and then we could look for an entry right there. One last thing I want to mention here is that Bitcoin is finding a just spectacular bit of support here on the point of control. The point of control sitting at $118,000. Bitcoin is still in bullish territory, and this bull market is, this rally that we've been in over the last few days is not over. This is healthy profit taking and nothing that we should be concerned about right now. Naturally, if you're in a trade, you need to be very careful how you're playing this, but if you're just spot and investing, this, in my opinion, is an excellent opportunity to load in more Bitcoin. As I told you guys, I'm done acquiring Bitcoin for this cycle above $123,260, which was July 14th's all-time high. That said, with Bitcoin down here at 118, that gives me the green light to invest more. So I dumped several thousand dollars of Bitcoin, several thousand dollars of fiat into Bitcoin down at 118,100 this morning, and I intend to continue acquiring down here until we break above the all-time high, at which point I will be stacking cash, paying liabilities until we enter into what possibly could end up being a bear market. So I'm looking forward to acquiring down here, looking forward to some long entries down here, and I am looking forward to being able to talk about all of that with you guys 24/7. I can make a YouTube video every single day, but you're not going to get anywhere near as much information out of me as you would if you were in our Discord server. So I am really, really, really enjoying all of you guys who have joined our Discord server, who are in the first cohort, because I love trading with you guys. And so it is my pleasure to let you guys know that we are in partnership with 2bit, which is the exchange that I'm using, and it is phenomenal. I love it. It's such a good exchange. All the functionality is there. It works really, really well. Made some good money over there. Really enjoying it. And when you sign up for 2bit, our favorite cryptocurrency exchange, you're going to be able to get access to the best crypto exchange, one of the fastest growing cryptocurrency exchanges, and you're also going to be able to get access to the first cohort Discord server for free for a year. I'm over here posting technical analysis all the time. All these, this is my color right here. So you can see how much I'm posting in here. I'm posting in here all the time, morning, day, and night. And if you want to get in for free, here's how you do it. All you have to do is sign up for 2bit. If you sign up for 2bit and deposit $100, you're going to get $30 instantly in rewards, and you're going to get access to the first cohort trading group for free for a year. When you sign up, you're also going to get a $50 registration bonus, and when you do $1,000 of trading in perps, you are also going to be able to double that bonus from $50 to $100. Guys, again, I'm loving 2bit. It is a fantastic trading platform. It's got a great interface. It's really solid. I love working over here in the derivatives markets. As you can see, it's absolutely beautiful. Absolutely wonderful setup. Very easy setup. Very easy to enter into trades, enter into and exit trades. So very big fan of it. Love doing my technical analysis. You can see a bunch of different entries and different things that we've done here. Love doing technical analysis over on 2bit. Love doing trading over there. Great exchange. If you're looking for a place to trade with me in the first cohort. If you're looking for an exchange to trade on 2bit. Sign up, deposit $100. Send a screenshot of that deposit to MalachiPats@CryptoJeb.com, who is our sales and community manager, and he will give you a coupon code to get into the first cohort trading group for free for a year. You'll just have to sign up through Teachable. He'll give you that free coupon, and you'll be able to get in for free for a year. I'd love to meet you over there. Love to trade with you. Love to do some technical analysis with you. Our community over there is growing. We've got about, we've got about 125 people over there right now, so getting to be very active. Lots of people, dozens of people talking at any given time. Would love to meet you over there. So if you want to enter into some longs on Bitcoin, I'd love to do that with you. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Oh, and one more thing. This video will go out early in the first cohort. I am shooting at 11:18 a.m. It's going to be up in the first cohort in the next 2 minutes, and it'll be out in about 2.5 hours on YouTube. So if you want to get our content early, best way to do it, sign up for 2bit, join the first cohort. I appreciate you for being here, and I look forward to seeing you in the next piece of content. Peace.